Hi, I'm Caitlin.
And I'm Kaylee, and this is
Shoot the Vows. And today we are going to talk about different vendor categories, not even just vendors, but things you need to spend money on at your wedding.
I would like to preface this by this is our opinions, and just because we feel that we would splurge or save doesn't mean you have to.
Yeah, so this is definitely going to depend on what's important to you and your spouse.
This is all personal preferences this episode.
For sure. So let's get into it. I have a whole list. Number one, obviously, photography. 1, 2, 3.
Splurge.
Duh. And it's not because we're photographers and videographers. Okay, it's partially because of that.
No, but for real though, like, you know how many people I've heard, well, I just went to a family friend and I hated the pictures I got back. I went to my Aunt Kathy and I didn't know that I needed to tell her I needed pictures of my cake. Like,
yeah. I went to a professional who was more budget friendly and they didn't turn out good. So,
do you research?
I would definitely look at full galleries, make sure that you're not just looking at their best work that they put on their website or on Facebook, because of course everybody has some amazing pictures they took, but it doesn't mean that all the pictures they take are high quality.
Exactly.
So, splurge, but splurge wisely. And if you want to splurge, but you don't have a crazy wedding budget, you can always go for less hours of coverage. Mm-hmm. And maybe Aunt Kathy can get the getting ready photos or the late night reception photos if you don't care about that sort of thing, like everyone dancing at the end of the night.
But if your get ready photos are your most important photos, then think about it.
Yeah, for sure. So splurge. At the end of the day, this is what I always tell people. At the end of the day, you take away two things after the wedding day: your marriage license, your marriage, and your photos. The cake has been eaten, the food has been eaten, the music has been listened to, and everyone left, right? Like the flowers are gonna die unless you get fake ones. But where are you putting those? But your photos are forever. Eternal. Yep. So that's why. Okay. Second one, videography. 1, 2, 3.
Splurge.
Save.
Listen.
Okay. It depends on your wedding budget. If your wedding budget's like 10 grand, you're not getting videography.
Obviously.
Don't be one of those people that's on a Facebook group and says, "Hi, I'm looking for 8 hours of photo and video for $1,500. Yeah.
Not happening.
It's not.
The amount of time that it takes.
The quality you're going to get.
The quality, the amount it takes to do it properly, not just the video editing, but the actual being able to film it. Yeah. Because if you're shaking, if you don't have the right equipment, if you don't have a gimbal, or if you're doing handheld and don't have the right handheld equipment, there's so much that goes into it. Splurge.
Yeah. And the audio quality. And like, oh, what if this didn't record properly? What if they don't have a backup now because they only had one thing recording? And so, yeah, there's I would say save if you can't get a quality videographer. If you can afford a quality videographer, then splurge. If you're going to watch your wedding video again, some people never watch their wedding video.
And then there's other people who watch it every anniversary. Yeah. So it depends on the couple, honestly. Like, maybe for the first, couple months afterwards,
You can also look into getting just ceremony only video. Not everyone offers that, but some people do.
But again, look into your vendor. Because we've had horror stories where they tried to save a little bit of money and it didn't look anything like they thought.
Yeah. So again, same thing with photography. Look at their work and what they produce. Okay. Ooh. I haven't even really gone through all of this. Like, I made the list and I don't even remember what's on it. I made it a while ago. So, all right. Second shooter. 1, 2, 3. Splurge. We're so biased, guys.
Okay, wait. Let's do that one again. I'll say save for this one.
No, really? You're changing your mind?
Yeah, I'll change it. Might as well.
Okay, well, I'm not going to count again because nobody wants to wait that long to... Okay, anyways.
Well, I'll say save for second shooter because if you're going to have a photographer and you're going to have a videographer and you're paying good money for both of them, you shouldn't feel like you need a second shooter.
Yes, but I like having a second shooter with me as the photographer because it's really, really hard for one person to get everything.
Her getting ready, him getting ready, all the detail photos. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I definitely would prefer a second shooter.
We also need to go to the bathroom once in a while. And maybe we want a couple of hors d'oeuvres. Not saying we're going to be lazy, but maybe we're going to be popping some shrimp in our mouth while your grandma over there is giving you a hug.
But you also have to think batteries. Batteries need to be changed. If well, I know we don't run into this problem because we have high enough SD cards, but if you're saving money and going for a more budget-friendly photographer, their SD cards might not hold enough, so they might have to go and switch out their SD cards. Like, there's so much that goes into it, once again, that you're really going to have to think about it.
Oh, now you're changing your mind, are you?
Oh, no, I always would prefer a second shooter, but I have to be the devil's advocate sometimes.
Okay, venue. Okay. I have to think about this before I count.
I know my answer.
All right, 1, 2, 3.
Splurge.
Save. Really?
Splurge all day long.
They can get expensive.
Yeah, they sure can.
They can get expensive.
If you have the wrong venue, your entire atmosphere and mood is changing through the day.
If you get the right photographer, you can make a crappy venue look great.
I'm not disagreeing with that, but if you're thinking price-wise, if you want to save money on your photographer, because that's not the most important to you, your venue is going to be your next best thing.
Yeah. You can get a budget-friendly venue that is pretty. I'm going to say pick a venue style and hold true to that. Like, don't go with a venue that's not at all what you're envisioning because it's a little cheaper. Because you can, like, still try to achieve a similar look while getting a cheaper venue. You know what I mean? Like, if you're looking for, like, a beautiful lodge-type style, you could find a county park that has a similar style building that is cheaper.
If you are having a smaller wedding.
If you're having
because
a smaller
most of those are very small and very more intimate, where
not all of them, but a lot of them.
Most of them.
Yeah, probably most of them. I mean,
but my favorite venue thing that we've been seeing all over everywhere right now is where the bride and groom either bought a house or they have family land or something like that. And they are taking and planting flowers. And so they have their own wildflower look in their own backyard, you know, and they have just the little tent set up.
And they're planting the flowers ahead of time that they want at their wedding and picking them for their bouquets so that their bouquets match the...
Yes, it's my favorite.
Yes.
I'm so excited.
I swear, I want to open a venue and I want to have just a field of wildflowers where the sun sets over
Moments
it.
captured CNY venue coming to you soon.
Well, not coming to everyone, but
hey, if you travel to us, it's for everybody.
You're coming to it. Okay. And then, well, the last thing I'll say with venue too is maybe spend a little bit more on a venue because it includes a lot more stuff.
Right.
Some of these venues are $30K that include nothing.
Right. And then you have the others that are charging $12, $15, and they include the tables, the chairs, the linens, the plate, the cutlery.
Some of the, even the decorations.
Exactly. So I really... That's where I say splurge, because if it's one of those more expensive ones that has everything included, great. You don't have to buy it. You don't have to resell it. You don't have to do none of it. You
kind of are saving.
Exactly.
In a way. Yeah.
So it really just depends. Are you the DIY bride type, or are you, I'm going to let someone handle it because I couldn't be bothered.
I am not the DIY type.
I am such the DIY type.
I literally looked at my mom and I was like, whatever you want to put on the tables.
That's wild. No, it couldn't be me.
I just okayed it. I'm like, looks great. Thanks.
Thanks, Mom.
Okay. Catering and food.
This one's hard. Hold on, let me think about it. Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Splurge.
Save. How much is your wedding gonna cost?
It's gonna cost unlimited because I'm a princess. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
I think you need to save wisely. I mean, don't save to the point where the food is not edible.
Right. But and that's where I said splurge, because most people think save and they think just like, let's just throw out pizzas. You know what I mean?
I haven't seen that one yet.
I have seen
hot dogs.
I've seen the pizza, and I've seen the donut for dessert. Instead of doing cake, they did donuts. And then they had coffee and all that stuff. Don't get me wrong. It was cute. It was a cute idea. But that's where I say splurge, because I'm so sorry, but pizza is not going to cut it for me on my wedding day. If I get sauce on my dress, I'm fighting somebody.
I don't even like pizza, so.
Oh, well,
that's a no-go for me. Yeah, I mean, save, but like, obviously you don't want people to get food poisoning. You want the food to be like edible. Maybe you save in certain aspects on like the hors d'oeuvres. Maybe you don't do plated food. You do buffet.
Or they have a food truck come out during the cocktail hour, and they have like the cocktail hour like be handled by the food truck, and then the food truck goes, and then they have those sit down food.
That might be more expensive.
I mean, maybe,
but it's a good idea.
Cute idea.
It is cute. All right, that's all we have to say about food. Sorry.
We're little foodies though, so
and I love food.
I know,
so
that's why I was saying I'd have to splurge.
Here's the thing. brides don't think of this. You're not going to eat on your wedding day. If you think you're going to eat a bunch of food on your wedding day, that's cute.
I don't know.
You don't have time.
I've never been a bride, I couldn't tell you.
You're not going to have time. You're going to be running around. Your nerves and the level of stress, you're not going to have much of an appetite. I had to task somebody to like force feed me on my wedding day because I was like a ball of nerves and I was so anxious that I didn't have much of I'm a person that doesn't have much of an appetite anyways, but most people actually don't. They just kind of pick and you're not going to remember it.
So maybe save.
You know how much of my wedding cake I ate?
2 bites.
1. Actually,
and maybe I did bite have 2. Joe fed you?
No, it might have been 2. I think it was the bite that Joe fed me.
And then 1 bite you took yourself. Yeah.
Yes. And that was the best cake ever. My mom made it. It was really good.
Good mom.
She does really good.
We love your mom.
Anyways. That leads to the next one. Wedding cake. 1, 2, 3. Save. Okay. I'm glad we agreed on something finally. I'm not saying save in the sense of have your mom bake the cake. I wouldn't do that again. And I'll tell you why. My poor mother. The level, if my stress level was here, hers was like here.
Because she was doing all the work for you.
She did everything. Oh my God, that poor woman. Don't have your family member, especially the closest one to you, be your coordinator or cake baker or decorator. Because my poor mom did all of those things. I would say save in the sense like pick a pretty cake that looks good.
Nah, I'll get one of those $50. No, not even. It's one of those $25 sheet cakes from Costco. That's all white. Shoot. Be enough to serve everybody.
Or you could do like a small cake and cupcakes.
Yeah. Well, I'm so sorry, but have you seen the price of cake? Even for my birthday, like I went out to go look for a cake and I was like, who's spending $75 on a cake? Because I'm not. Even for my birthday, not for my wedding, not for, no. So sorry. Yeah. No hate to bakers, no shade. But I
mean, when you're thinking about the fact that everything adds up, yeah.
Being realistic. You know, nobody's going to realize that they got a sheet cake from Costco or Sam's or BJ's. Yeah. Nobody's going to know.
Or again, like I said, get like a very small, you don't need to do like a multi-tier cake, just a small 1-tier cake for you guys.
For you and the husband, yeah.
And then they also say like, I don't know if you knew this, but you're supposed to freeze it and save it and eat it on your 1-year anniversary.
Yep.
It tastes like crap, by the way.
That doesn't shock me.
Don't expect it to taste good.
I've seen the one where they took it out of the freezer for their anniversary, and it was a video on like TikTok or something. And he like went to feed her the cake, and she picked up a piece and smushed it on his face. He goes, "Oh, you're getting it now," and he takes it and he like shoves it, and they start chasing around. It looks so much cute and fun, better than eating it. That's for sure.
It probably tasted like crap. All right, the next one, and I already know what's gonna happen.
Uh-oh.
Ready? Florals. 1, 2, 3.
Splurge, baby. Do you see our studio? Do you think the answer is gonna be anything other than splurge? I'm so sorry, but florals can make or break a wedding.
Okay. But they can also make or break your budget.
You're not wrong.
I'm going to say save in the sense, I think you should have a beautiful bridal bouquet. I think you should have bridesmaids bouquets. I think you should have nice boutonnieres. And I think you should have the nice corsages for like mom, grandma, whatever. Beyond that, anything beyond that, I think is splurging.
See, but here's where, if in my opinion, as a previous florist, just saying, you can take your ceremony pieces that you have line the aisle and use them for your reception.
Yeah.
And so you're double using, so you're not spending double the price for 2 areas. So like, yes, it's splurging, but it's not
strategically splurging.
Yes, you got to strategically splurge it. And like, obviously, I would do it a lot of it myself. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, bud vases are cute. They're simple. They're easy.
Yeah.
2 stems of filler flower, 1 rose, 1 spray rose, 1 whatever, and it's full.
Yeah, we kind of did that. We kind of did something like that.
It's simple. It's easy. And at the end of the day, flowers make a difference. It really does.
They do. I mean, plants make a difference too,
Duh.
Obviously. What else are we gonna put on these shelves?
Not plants. Joking, obviously. It's filled with plants.
I think you can save in ways, but yeah, I mean the fake flowers. A lot of people think they're gonna save money too on fake flowers, and they're not that much.
I'm so sorry to break it to you. You don't,
unless they're really cheap fake flowers.
But on top of like the fake flowers, like just getting like the cheaper ones, you also have to take into consideration, like you mentioned, what are you going to do with those?
Yeah.
Because frankly, you're not going to put them up on your wall and you're not going to hang them around your house. And frankly, if you had a larger wedding, you'd have a lot to get rid of.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yes, you can always try to do the Facebook Marketplace where you put them up for sale and kind of just hope they go. But then how long are you storing them?
Mm-hmm.
And then you got to keep them nice. And then you can't squish them. And then there's so much that goes into it. At that point, I would get real ones, preserve your bouquet, and have your guests take the vases like from the table.
Yeah.
That's what my stepmom did. Instead of like saving the flowers, she said, I'd already take a vase.
That's what, actually, I've taken home wedding flowers before.
Mm-hmm.
Like, thanks, guys. All right, next one. Decor and centerpieces. 1, 2, 3. Save. What? Why are you silent? Why are you looking at me?
Because I don't know what I would do. I kind of panicked and froze. I really want to say splurge because, again, it makes or breaks the venue.
I hope you have $100,000.
I sure don't. But I don't know. It's one of those things of like, if you're going to save on the venue, you're going to splurge on your decor. If you're going to splurge on your decor, go for a cheaper venue. Like, it really depends on style. It really depends on budget, and it really depends on the venue.
Yeah.
So I think if I went for a cheaper venue, I would splurge on my decor.
Yeah.
If I went for a more expensive venue, then I would go cheaper on my decor.
I agree with that. That's pretty logical, I think.
Yeah, it really stumped me there, though.
Unless
I was like,
you have
oh,
an
God, what do I do?
unlimited Kaylee budget.
Unless you're just me and you're just going to pretend that everything's sunshine and rainbows.
This is a fantasy wedding, by the way.
Sunshine and rainbows over here.
All right, lighting. 1, 2, 3.
Save.
Splurge.
I only said save because I know DJs will do it. So you get a DJ that has the up lighting.
Well, yeah, get a DJ that does it. Or if your venue does it already, great. I mean, if you're finding one of these mystical dream venues that offers everything under the sun for $5,000. But I think that if you can light it right, you can get away with not decorating
having
it as
the
much.
decor, not having as many florals.
It also makes a huge difference. Like lighting, I mean,
it makes a difference in the photos.
Well, I mean, if you even look back 5 podcast episodes ago, we didn't have all these nice little lighting, like glowy little.
It makes a difference.
It looks vastly different. So it can make a huge difference in your photos. If you do like colorful uplighting for your reception, we'll actually post a photo of that.
Woohoo, right here.
And not post it, but we'll put it up, and it looks really cool. Like it really looks cool. So that's something to keep in mind too. I would splurge if you have the money. It's not, well, DJ uplighting can be a bit, but I don't know. Depends.
I said save because I'm thinking, okay, well, I already got the more expensive venue. I don't need the uplighting too.
That's fair. But again, some venues just do
cover it.
Mm-hmm. So that's wicked cool. All right. Wedding dress. 1, 2, 3. Splurge.
Save.
What?
Yep.
I disagree.
I would because I literally would wear it maybe twice my whole life.
You'll wear it once. Well, twice if you're going to like model in it or something. Most people aren't. But here's the thing. Every single picture, you're in that dress.
Mm-hmm.
And you want it to fit right. So maybe even somewhere in between, right? Like save on the dress, splurge on the tailoring.
Right.
Make sure it fits you perfectly. It's, because like mine had long sleeves and all that. If those are kind of baggy looking,
then it can
lose
looks the photos.
Yeah, it looks rough. So
yeah.
I would definitely, if you're going to get a cheaper dress, make sure that it is perfect on your body. If you're obviously going to get a more expensive dress, you probably want the same thing. But I don't know. I think that you can get nice dresses off the rack.
Well, here's why I say save, because straight up 110% being real, I would never spend over $3,000 on a dress. Never.
Okay. Yes.
Never, ever, 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 ever in my wildest dreams. Half of my clothes don't even cost a quarter of that. Like,
I think that some people's idea of splurging and saving are different too. Like my idea of saving on a wedding dress, I think mine was $300.
Exactly.
But it was like the sheen of the wedding dress shops, online. So okay. Before I even was working with you, there was a bride that I knew, and she just got a dress off Amazon. Well, she ended up losing weight before the wedding. And that dress was baggier than hell on her. Like, bad. She didn't pay to get it tailored. She spent maybe, like you said, $300, $400, $500 on Amazon. And frankly,
it looked great. Like, you wouldn't have thought it was an Amazon dress until it didn't fit.
Yeah.
So, like,
having a seamstress is huge.
Yeah, play it smart. If you're going to go for a cheaper dress, spend that money on a tailor because you want it to fit you like a glove.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, next one. This one's easy. Bridesmaids dresses. 1, 2, 3. Save. They can pay for it.
Yeah.
I'm going to be in my friend's wedding in September. I'm buying my dress. And it's not that much. It's less than $200. So it's not, I mean, to some people, maybe that's a lot to spend on a dress.
I mean, 9 times out of 10, they know going into it that
there's going to be expenses.
Yeah. So a $100, $200 dress shouldn't kill anybody.
Yeah. Find like a nice site that sells cheaper dresses so that people don't like grumble.
Order them online. Yeah. Order them online.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also like talk to your bridesmaids. I mean, you obviously know them, you know what I mean? But make sure that they can, you know, don't just assume they can. Talk to them, make sure that they're okay with it, you know what I mean? But definitely go on the cheaper end. Even I like this trend that right now that all of the dresses are different. None of them are like the same fabrics. None of them are the same pattern.
I like that.
Love that.
I also like the mismatch colors.
Me too.
But they like go well together.
Well, because they're complementary colors to one another.
You don't.
They don't just
throw. You can do that badly. But
if you do it right, you can do it. So like think Easter. Think of the pretty pastel Easter colors. You know those are going to go well together. If you're having a spring wedding, go for it.
Like your hair.
Oh yeah. Pinks, blues, purples, greens always go really well together. On the other hand, yellows, oranges, reds, and purples typically go really well together.
Are you ready for the next one? I'm so curious what your answer is going to be. Okay. DJ and music. 1, 2, 3. Splurge. Okay, cool. Okay, there's like 1, 2 that we've agreed on.
I only say splurge for that because I've seen a DJ ruin the vibe of the wedding.
Okay, so the skill, important. Let's even assume that the cheaper DJ knows what they're doing, right? And like has decent equipment. Most of the time they don't, but we'll pretend. If they're not great at actually DJing, like later on in the night, like your photos are gonna look like crap because there's
nobody's on the dance
floor.
There's
like 4 people dancing because he's playing God knows what, you know. So that's something to keep in mind. But
I truly think I would go for a live band rather than a DJ. Yeah, I truly do think I'd go that route.
Better find a good one because same
well, good thing we got Kylie Brown.
You can have bad bands too. But I think that a good DJ and a good band, good music in general, is really going to change the whole atmosphere of your reception.
I agree.
Yeah.
Even the cocktail hour.
Even the ceremony too.
Yeah.
And like if you're getting video and they don't have great equipment. And
or their mic's cut out and you can't hear anything.
What about the one, I think it was the same wedding that you were just talking about, where you couldn't hear the groom at all throughout the whole ceremony?
Oh, yes.
He didn't have a microphone
at all.
And it's an outdoor ceremony, and there's like, it wasn't a huge ceremony, but the
he
people
was so
in the back,
quiet.
I couldn't hear him at all.
The first row couldn't hear him. Like, I had people looking around and like,
well, who's screaming their vows anyways?
Right.
Well,
and that's where fuck you.
They would have heard you.
People who already loudmouth, sorry.
No, but people that are like really quiet and mousy, like you're not.
Maybe that's where you go for a private vow. Do a private first look, a private like vow,
or just get a DJ that has microphones,
or that.
Yeah, that was crazy.
But I don't know. I think in that specific instant, I think there were so many nerves that he really was just too nervous to kind of, you know. So I think really talk to your significant other and make sure that like they want to have these private vows that they wrote for you read aloud in front of both yours and their family, you know,
Yeah, that makes sense. All right. Next one. This one's easy. Day of coordinator. 1, 2, 3. Splurge. That's not even splurge. That's
you need. Like, that is a must.
That,
is that like number one? Circle it.
Different
like
category. Obviously, if you've ever listened to our podcast for more than 37 seconds,
of them,
you know every episode we talk about. Actually, we didn't at the last episode. That's the first one we've ever.
But I think it's because it was musician.
Yeah,
we were talking about music and video games.
You need a day of coordinator. Like you need a day of coordinator.
I agree. I feel like if it was me, I wouldn't want the stress coming back to me when I'm trying to get ready, when I'm trying to calm my nerves of, wow, I'm really doing this. You know what I mean? So I think I would rather just pay somebody to handle all those problems.
Yeah. No, seriously. It's I would take that over pretty flowers, a nice dress, food.
I wouldn't take it over flowers. I'm so sorry.
Oh my God, you're so annoying. Your wedding is going to be you, the officiant, your groom, and then flowers.
Just flowers everywhere.
Just get married in a greenhouse, save money.
I've thought about it. Listen, I have my, like, the more weddings we do, the more ideas I get on what I want.
Yeah.
Or what I don't want, I should say.
All right, this one's going to be we're going to upset some people that have been on our podcast before, but full wedding planner. 1, 2, 3. Save. I'm sorry.
So sorry.
We love you.
I love you so much.
You are worth your weight in gold.
Don't take that.
Not everybody has gold.
I think for me, I'm just such a DIY girly.
Yeah.
Like, I would rather have my hands in, balls to the walls, doing it myself.
If I were to get married today, like if I like weren't married right now and my husband proposed today, with the like budget that we would have, I would get a planner. If I like know what I know about my wedding and all of that stuff, I would hire a planner because my mom basically planned my wedding. Like, let's be real. I'm not a DIY girl. I don't want to do it myself. Please don't make me do it myself. Please do it for me. I want it to look pretty. I feel like somebody else will do a much better job than I would.
See, and that's where I'm the opposite. I know I'm going to do better than anybody's hands that they put in this basket. This is my day. And if my centerpiece looks bad because you had it at the wrong angle, I'm fighting you. Like,
honestly, it's a miracle I could take good pictures because I've never considered myself artistic or creative or anything like that. People would argue with me about that when they see my photos, but like I feel like it's the only thing I could pull off. I can't just take a table that has nothing on it and make it like this beautiful thing. I will never be a wedding planner for that reason. I'll never be a designer.
See, but I think that's where I have a little bit of knowledge in that field, and more than a little bit. I went to school for 3 years for interior design. So
yeah, Pinterest was my best friend when I planned my wedding.
And well, like, I think Pinterest is good for ideas, but it's hard to execute all of the ideas that Pinterest give. So for me personally, like, Canva is a great one because you can drag all your colors into it, and you can drag like palettes, the exact plates that you want, and you can set how you think your tablescape should look, and like you can play with it in design and in Canva and see what it looks like before it's on the table.
Well, now AI is a thing too, which probably helps, but you got to look out for that because it's like it's not really
achievable.
Real. It's not really real.
Not even just real, but is it achievable?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Can I change my answer to Splurge? I'm like save, and then I literally list all the
reasons why you want it.
Well, I don't know. I guess maybe like it depends on what your wedding budget is, and like some people think a budget wedding is $10,000, and some people think a budget wedding is $40,000. To me, that's not budget.
$40,000 budget?
Some people, you can have a nice wedding for $80K. Like,
wait. Did you just say nice? Like, just not mediocre nice?
Not over the top.
I can't stand at all.
Because $80K, like, are you getting fireworks? Like, are you getting the boat ride? Like, I don't know. What's extravagant? It's all subjective. You know what I mean?
And it depends on where your money goes. Because if you're spending $20K on a venue, there's a good quarter of your 80 right there.
Yeah.
So.
And that's not even an expensive venue.
Like, no, that's like bare minimum venues nowadays.
I know.
Like,
it's crazy.
Venues have gotten outlandishly expensive.
I think that everyone needs to take a moment when they start wedding planning and think about what their budget really is and then figure out what's achievable. Because even we are surprised and we are in this industry.
Right. And not just like have your budget, but have the amount that you're willing to go over too. So if your budget is $15K, you better add that in another $5K just in case, because you never know what's going to happen, and what's going to go wrong.
You don't want to go bankrupt or take out crazy loans.
Obviously, this is more about y'all getting married finally and getting to say that I do. It shouldn't feel like a performance, like a Broadway show, you know?
I mean,
some people want that.
I want that. I want everyone to know. All right, next.
You're also the one coming down the aisle on a horse, so like.
I'm so extra. Hair and makeup. Hang on, I gotta think about this.
Oh, this is hard.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Splurge.
Save.
And I only say that because I know how pretty I have felt when I've gotten my makeup professionally done.
I am so good at doing my hair and makeup when I really, really try.
So me too. Like,
if you're not, absolutely splurge.
Yeah,
don't
splurge
do it yourself
all
if
the
you
way.
can't.
But I know for like me, makeup wise, like hair, I think I could probably achieve by myself. But if I'm going for one, I might as well just do both, and that's why I say splurge.
That's fair.
Like at the end of the day, I want to feel gorgeous and beautiful and stunning, and I want it to stay on all day.
Mm-hmm.
And I know they're using the correct products, and they're like, they know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had great luck with the professionals that I have worked with.
Yeah.
For modeling.
I think where you could potentially, maybe, possibly sort of save is if you don't pay for your girls, right? Like your bridesmaids.
Yeah, have them pay for themselves or do it themselves.
But not everyone's willing to pay for themselves. And sometimes the people that do it themselves should not do it themselves. And you don't want people in your wedding party that look a little crazy because they can't do their makeup.
And
you know
if
what
you're
I mean?
doing
So,
more natural glam and one of your girls down your line has this bright blue smoky eye, like...
Yeah. And it's like, exactly. It's like, what style are you used to doing your makeup in? Because like, I like to do a lot of crazy Chinese makeup, but that's not the look for my friend's wedding. You know what I mean? So I'm probably going to pay someone to do my makeup because I don't know. I just want to, but you know, it's, you have to consider like, do you have a style? Do you have a look you're going for your wedding? If so, you might need to consider paying for your girls because they might not be used to like doing their makeup or their hair that way.
I think realistically, I would splurge on the makeup and do my hair myself.
Yeah. Some people can't do their hair either though. Or it's like really hard for them to get it to stay. I know for like my mom, for example, my mom needs to have her hair professionally done because when she curls it herself and uses her products, they fall in like an hour. So it's, believe it or not, if you look at my hair, you'd never know.
Never tell, right?
Hers is like that. But yeah, it's, so I would consider like who, you know.
Who's what's it?
Yeah. And like, when I say save, I don't mean save by going to somebody that's really cheap because that could be that could be more disastrous than doing it yourself. Yeah. Seriously.
Well, because you know your face. You know what products it handles. You know what stays and what doesn't, what works and what doesn't. And if you go to someone who's cheap, they don't know your face and your skin. And if you're going to someone cheap, they most likely don't do a trial run.
Yeah.
If you don't do a trial run, don't know how it's going to sit and stay. And I don't know. It's just more of a panic than just doing it yourself, I think.
And absolutely, if you're going to save, don't save by not doing a trial. Like,
oh, yeah. You need the trial.
Use your trial on the day you're getting your engagement photos done or a date night or something. Like, use it for something if you want to, like, you know, multitask. I don't know. Whatever. You know what I mean. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sure, that. We've been recording for too long. This episode's wicked long.
It's okay. They're going to enjoy it.
It's because we're great. No, but seriously, I think that do your trial, save money on not having the girls get theirs done. Or mom or whatever. Maybe mom can pay for herself. I don't know, but it's expensive. $300 a person. You got 6 people in your bridal party. Yeah.
I didn't know it was that expensive.
Yeah, it's like $300, $400.
You know what? I changed my answer. I'm saving on all of it.
You're so annoying. All right. Invitations and stationery. 1, 2, 3. Save. You can DIY that.
Yeah, for sure.
Even I could DIY that. My friend recently sent me her wedding invitations. I was like, oh my God, it's so classy. It was the save the date came separately. But the invitation, and then there's like a little information card or whatever in there, RSVP card. You have like more, usually it's more than one piece of paper. And it was all put together with like a ribbon. And her fiance, he like tied all of them. He's great at tying bows. And, you know, you could do something like that for relatively cheap. I would say watch where you're going to print it from. I've heard horror stories of people printing through like Canva or Vistaprint. I get all my business cards through Vistaprint. They usually do good. But like sometimes like Walmart, places like that, spend the extra like 10 cents per invitation and get them somewhere better. Yeah. And then just like wrap them up yourself. Or if you're doing like wax stamp seals, do that yourself. Yeah. You could save, you know, strategically. How about
you save and you don't do the wax stamps? But okay.
Well, you know, they look nice.
I think it's cute and pretty, but it's expensive. That amount of wax that you need, the color you need, the stamp, like the time it takes to stamp each and every one. And then you have to think about the weight of the invitations you're mailing. That's going to go up because of the stamp. And
that's true. And if you're mailing internationally and now it's more expensive. Okay, fair. Wedding favors. 1, 2, 3.
Save. Throw it out the window.
Throw it out the. Well, if you're spending like $5 a person, you got 100 people that you're inviting or that are coming to your wedding. It's $500 that you could spend on your cake that you were gonna get a sheet cake from Costco for.
Well, but like, have you seen? I love this idea. They've thrifted a bunch of like different types of glasses. You can tell I'm such a DIY, do it myself. You could totally tell. But they thrifted all these different types of like wine glasses, flute glasses, champagne glasses. They have all these different glasses, and it has like your table number, and it's all on this wall. So you get to take your cup home with you because everybody got different cups and all that stuff. They've had the book wall where you thrift a bunch of books and you can take a book home with you. And like I said with the centerpieces, take the centerpieces home. There's so much that they can take from your wedding. They don't need a koozie. They don't need glasses.
Nobody wants a koozie.
They don't need.
No offense. We love you.
And I have a koozie from one of the weddings we did, and it's cute. It sits in my kitchen in my little thing because I don't really drink that much to need it. I
think that experiences can also double as like favors. So like if you have like a photo booth, or we love this one, do a guest portrait station. So if you're like, I don't want a cheesy photo booth, you get like an actual portrait photographer come in, they set up like a nice portrait station with like backdrop, maybe not props like props, but like there's like a nice
I think the photo booth is so much more fun. I think it's
fun.
A little bit more relaxed than I love the portrait station, don't get me wrong, but I think the relaxed of the photo booth and just everybody cuts loose and just has more fun. And then if you do it where they print off, like I know us, you get your choice between a 2x4, two 2x4s, or one 4x6. I love the split 2x4s. Everybody loves them. And they're like, we need to do it again. I just think the photo booth is a good way to get everybody interacting and mingling together.
Yeah, it is a fun way. And like I said, it could double as like a
take-home favor too. Yeah. Because usually it has the name and date on it. And I just think that is a better use of your money than glasses and koozies. And
okay, next one. We only have 3 left. Don't worry, guys. We're almost there.
Almost there.
For you diehards that are watching the entire episode, we love you and thank you.
We love
you're
you
the
so
best.
much.
And if you're not subscribed yet, then I don't even know why.
doing?
How have you watched this long and you're still not subscribed?
Don't be a loser. Subscribe.
All right, transportation. 1, 2, 3. Splurge. Okay, it depends. If your family are like really heavy drinkers and your wedding is in the middle of nowhere, there's no hotels, you got to think all those drunk people are driving.
Most of the time, so the one wedding that there's been 2 that I've worked that did it. And they had a bus shuttle afterwards to another location for a second party.
Yeah. Those people need transportation.
They needed that because they were literally going from the venue to a whole nother location, the whole party. Yeah. Not just like the groom and like the, bridal party. It was the entire party loaded up and went to that like second location for an after party. It was crazy. But something like that makes sense because, like I said, they weren't staying they were evacuating. They were tearing down for the night, so they had to choose somewhere else to go, and everybody wanted to be a part of that after party. So, I really think it depends on your crowd of people.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, if you have a lot of party people,
but personally, I would never spend the money for somebody else to drive somewhere.
I get
have
it.
a DD.
I get it. Yeah,
you had a +1 on the invite for a reason. Bring your DD.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Photo booth. 1, 2, 3. Splurge. I think that it's so fun for guests to do during like the cocktail hour. It doubles as, like I said, a wedding favor, not party favor. It's not a birthday party,
No, but maybe we can
favor.
insert like a clip here that we've taken of like when we've worked one of the photo booths and like all the guys were having fun and they get to use the props, and maybe we'll insert that here.
Yeah, I think photo booths are really fun, and it's anyone that we've shot their wedding with photo and they left us a good review, they always mention the photo booth, and they're always like, you gotta get the photo
booth. Because the guests love it. I cannot elaborate that enough. Well,
the couples love it too. Sarah and Bill, her
profile
picture is still the photo booth picture, which I'm kind of like, okay, what about the nice photos that I took? But it's okay, that's her Instagram profile.
But it truly mingles the crowd because you get there and it kind of feels like hers and his, or, you know, his and his, or whatever. And it kind of feels divided. Whereas you kind of, it's about bringing together, you know, you're all one family now.
Yeah.
And photo booth is a great way to relax everybody, especially during cocktail hour. Shoot. Give them a photo booth. They love it.
Yeah. All right, last one.
Here we go.
This one's easy peasy. I swear, if you...
we just...
All right, rings. 1, 2, 3. Splurge.
Save.
What?
Save.
It's going to be on your hand forever and ever until you die. Like, you're buried with it. Literally. It's on there for eternity. Like, it rots on your body.
No, it doesn't. It's
really
metal.
Dark. Well, you rot. And the ring's still there. Point proven. It's there after you're gone. I think... Well, you can always upgrade later on in life. I told Joe, 5th anniversary. Well, upgrade, or at least replace the diamonds that are missing, for the love of God.
So I think for me, I personally don't want a traditional diamond. Okay. So that in and of itself saves so much money.
They do. Lab grown. Get lab grown.
Well, and like,
because nobody cares that it's a natural diamond that somebody bled for.
And even that was dark. I think for me, like, even like gemstones and birthstones and like something more sentimental than just a clear, sparkly rock. Like, I want a rock that has energy like a crystal. Okay, fair. I want a crystal on my finger.
Of course you do. I'm not surprised.
Who does that shock?
I'm not surprised at all.
But again, I think that's where, like, you can save and not make it a cheap, dingy ring. You know what I mean?
Well, I guess it's not really up to the bride how much the groom spends on the engagement ring. I will say that you can save on wedding bands. Because if your engagement ring is pretty enough, like, I mean, my wedding bands are also a little extra, but
my wedding bands don't have diamonds on it. I don't want it.
First off, I didn't ask for this. I asked for a very simple ring. I said
that's the opposite.
I said just like a small diamond with like just a band, and that's it. And this dude designed it.
My favorite is that exactly where the couple's designing the rings together.
That's really cute,
and they can play his and hers together. I love that.
Yeah, I think it's special. I think, again, I'm going to say splurge because it's literally, and maybe you're not buried with it. Maybe this ring is going to your grandchild or your child or somebody. So it's like, yeah, you can upgrade it later if it's really like a budget concern now, but are you gonna? Like, I don't know. Some people, it's like one of those things. You're like, I'm gonna upgrade my kitchen, and then you never get to it.
I really think it depends on the couple. It depends on the people. It depends on your financial aspect of when you met your person. Like,
for sure.
Right now is a totally different Kaylee than what you knew 5 years ago. You know, like 5 years ago, I would have said, give me that big diamond that costs $100,000. I don't want that now. You know what I mean?
I'm the opposite. No. I'm like, no, I'm bougie now. Sorry, Joe.
I don't know. I just feel like 20-year-old Kaylee and 25-year-old Kaylee are very different, and I'm glad that like
the world has weathered you.
Yay!
You've been beaten down,
beaten to senseless.
The economy has
it just drove me nuts.
Yeah. Well, I think that, I mean, again, guys, this is all subjective, and like everybody's going to have different ideas of what they would save and splurge on. If you wildly disagree with any of these, let us know lovingly and
let
kindly.
Us know why, though.
Kaylee will cry if you're too mean.
I will cry. Caitlin's experienced it firsthand.
Please be nice to us. I might cry too. I actually take things really hard too. We're sensitive girls. But, you know, this is all totally our opinion. So
just because you wouldn't save on a ring doesn't mean you have to, you know, it's just a personal preference.
Yeah. So we'll say that at the beginning and the end of the episode, and nobody's going to watch the beginning and the end. They're going to go right to the middle, and they're not going to hear any of that anyways. This is going to be made into social media clips that'll be totally taken out of context. We're going to start wars in the comments.
That's okay. We love the war comments.
I don't.
I do. I love it. I love seeing the people banter back and forth.
God, I
love it.
I turn off the commenting.
And that pisses me off. Stop turning off the comments. Let them banter. They wouldn't have commented if they didn't want the banter, because they know that's how social media is.
All right, anyways.
Sorry. Don't forget.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Don't forget to leave a comment down below. We'd love to feature it in the next video.
And have a war about it.
Yeah. Subscribe.